Hello, everybody. I hope everyone's doing good. I'm doing great too. And today I'm going to talk about the criticism that surrounds the concept of homeschooling or unschooling. Um, 6 years ago, when I started it, when I finally decided that I'm going to start homeschooling my child, I faced strong criticism, not only from my own parents, my relatives, my neighbors, anybody I used to meet. And the first question here that people ask is, when you have your children with you, they ask you that in which class does she go, which school does she go to. So when you tell them they're being homeschooled, it hits them like a hammer in the head. They get baffled. They don't know what it is. And sometimes people, because we know that people are sending their children at the age of 2 or 3 or 4 years to the school, and they are looking at a child who's 7 years old, 8 years old, and they get to know that child is not going to school. They have a panic attack, and they do ask you questions. They would ask questions which can be of two kinds. Remember, you're going to be facing two kinds of criticisms. One I categorize as the constructive criticism, and the other one is criticism just for the sake of an argument, or to make you feel that you are wrong. The first kind of criticism is a learning curve. For me, it was something that people asked me. Those people who were more concerned about me and my child, they asked me questions, and because they were thinking in the benefit of both of us, they were worried. So those are the kind of people that you can give your answers to. You can try to convince them upon your choice of selecting homeschooling. But the other kind of criticism that I told you, you cannot handle it. Listen, first of all, you have to understand what other people are thinking. Because when you say, I am homeschooling, you are indirectly pulling away your child from the system, and you're putting a big question mark upon the efficiency of the system. And those people who are part of the system, like the people who are teaching in the universities, in the colleges, in the schools, and those people who are paying a lion's share to the schools for the children's fee, you are putting a question mark on their whole existence. So they would definitely not like it. They would definitely try to tell you that whatever you are doing is not in the favor of you and your child. First thing that we have to understand is that those people who criticize, most of the time, they are not knowing exactly what you're trying to do. Again, then comes two kind of people. One kind of people, you should tell them what it is, and the other kind of people, you better not tell them what it is, okay? Because it won't make a big difference. Then it's not our fight. When we are homeschooling, we're not fighting. We are not telling people that the schools are wrong, the education system is wrong. Though the big part why we are homeschooling is because we're not satisfied with the education system of our country. But we cannot say that the millions of people who are going to school, they're all wrong. Their parents are wrong. The teachers are wrong. We cannot say that. It is our choice. We were not satisfied with the schools, so we pulled our children from the schools, and we are trying to teach them the most natural way possible. We're not burdening them. We're not asking them to carry the bags, the heavy loads, and we are not asking them for the grades. We just want to be relaxed. We just want to be ourselves. We just want to enjoy the company of our children and teach them in peace. This is the best thing that I figured out was for me to handle the criticism. I understand in Pakistan, basically, there are so many people who are living in the joint family system, and most of the time, people who are living in that system, for example, the in-laws and the even the husbands or even the parents of the girl, of the woman, of the mother who is trying to homeschool, they are doubtful. They're like, oh, look at you. You're not, you're taking a big responsibility. How can you do that? It's a big thing. You are going to ruin your own children. Did you ever get up on time? Do you know how lazy you are? Have you ever completed any project? Do you know it's a big responsibility? So they don't have faith in you. That's why they try to oppose you. They think it's an uphill task and it's better you don't opt for it. But the only thing here I can tell is, if you and your husband both are on the same page, then no constructive or destructive criticism matters. Nothing matters. The first thing that we have to realize is that parents of a child are the stakeholders in the well-being, the physical, the mental well-being of that child. If something wrong, God forbids, if something wrong is going to happen to the child, the parents are the people who would suffer the most. So they would never want anything wrong for their children. So if you are thinking about homeschooling or unschooling your child, you are thinking about the best interest of the child or the children. And also one interesting thing I want to share with you guys, because I have seen myself changing the society in front of my own eyes in 6 years. 6 years ago, people, when I used to tell them this is what I'm doing, they were amazed. They were confused. I could see that kind of look on their faces. But now it's been a year. I just feel that they are coming more to terms with this idea of homeschooling. There have been people who've been appreciating me hugely. They'd be like, wow, you're doing something different. And some people told me that you are doing something that is not very common. It's very difficult to do. You are a super mother. You are inspirational. You are this or that. In the beginning also of my journey, where there were some people who tried to discourage me, there was so many people also who tried to support me, who had always been there anytime when I felt low and alone and doubtful. They always picked me up. So you would definitely get people during the entire journey who would support you, who would like your efforts, who would know that what you are doing is the best thing to do, and you would enjoy the entire thing. You would enjoy the entire history, entire journey of what you are doing, what you are opting for. And this is the homeschooling thing is not just one decision, and just it is not one type of a thing and one thing that you do just one time and just forget about it. It's a whole process. It's a wholesome process. Every day you learn things. Every day you face criticism. Every day you learn to handle it. And every day people come up with different questions. Every day you come up with different answers. So I hope you got the idea, the main idea. There is nothing I can tell you in bullet points that if somebody's going to say this to you, you would reply like this. There is nothing. I cannot coach you. I cannot instruct you exactly how this can be done. You would do it on your own, but there are some points that you have to understand. Those points are like, you should be having confidence in your abilities. You should partner with your life partner and make sure that you both understand the whole thing, and you both would work with your children. And people who at first would criticize you, would ask you questions, they will, once they will see the progress, once they will see that your child is not mentally retarded, your child, like people used to ask me that your child is not going to school because she's having some learning disability like dyslexia or ADHD maybe. So when your child is coming out all normal and everything, people would be fine with it. They would know that you're okay, your child is okay, so their doubts would subside eventually. I hope you like the video, and if anything I missed, and if any question you guys want to ask me, you guys can ask me in the comments, and I'll be more than glad to help you out with that. Ciao, ciao.